Hi, my name's Johnny, and today I want to talk about Michaels. That is actually the full name for microphones. Setting up any kind of content creation or streaming setup can be a real pain in the bum, and you don't know where to start, and it all costs so much money. And so we all go looking for the best affordable options when it comes to making your videos look and sound as good as they can for as little as possible. After I did my video showcasing my kind of desk and room setup recently, the fine folk at Fifine reached out and said, hey, you need some new microphones, so why don't you check these out? In that video, I also talk about my new streaming series that I've been doing, and one of these microphones in particular is really good for doing just that. As a bass player as well, I'm always looking for a good microphone to use to mic up cabs that I have for product demos. And so I'm going to be putting these to the test, not only for speaking into, but also playing. Now recently I have really got into streaming, and I started a stream series where I go through and judge a load of like Facebook listings of bass guitars to see what crimes are being committed out there in the world. And let me tell you, there is a lot. And in the first stream that I did have a couple of audio issues where it wasn't super clear, or it just wasn't as it wasn't as crisp as I wanted it to be. And that's where a microphone like the K688 from Fifine is really fantastic and should come into its own. This lightweight microphone comes in at around £75 at the moment. For that money though, it feels fantastic high quality, and it's got some bonus features on here as well. Now you can use this with an XLR or just a USB-C cable to connect straight to your laptop or computer, so you actually don't need an audio interface to record using this microphone. For that very reason, you've got a gain control, a headphone input, and a headphone volume control as well. So this can really be an all-in-one device. It's even got a little touch button on here to mute yourself, which for podcasting, which I also do, is so good when you need to burp or fart or whatever bodily function you need to do off air. We're going to be putting this up against their slightly more expensive microphone, the Tank 1. This one is only a little bit more expensive, coming in at around £95 right now. And this is a much heavier duty microphone, which means it's really good in particular, I think, for podcasting when you've got it on a boom arm and have it in front of you and you can move it around more flexibly. Now, unlike the K688, this one isn't powered via USB-C or anything like that. It is an XLR out. But then down below, we do have some EQ options. And this is either to remove a bit of low end or to give a bit of a mid bump. Very smart thing to put on a microphone, because some people naturally have much bassier voices. And so being able to turn on that kind of low end cut is really cool. So let's have a listen now to what these things can do side by side. Now, in order to make this as fair as possible, I am recording both microphones at the same time at equidistance away. Now, for podcasting, of course, you want the microphone to be nice and close, whereas streaming, sometimes you want it a little bit further away. So we're going to do two tests, one at each kind of distance. And for this demonstration, I'm going to be reading what scholars have been describing as one of the most important pieces of literature in the last, century. And that is, of course, the Hannah Montana Super Sneak limited edition story. So now let's have a listen to whether we think these two microphones are, in fact, the best of both worlds. Chapter 1. Miley Stewart ran down the stairs and into the kitchen, too excited to notice that her father was cleaning a huge fish. Her brother Jackson looked on, trying not to notice that his dinner had eyes. Dad, I know I have midterms on Monday, but the new Ashton Kutcher movie is previewing tonight. Miley gazed at him with her absolutely sweetest smile. How many pretties do I need to put before please for you to let me go? She asked. Miley Stewart ran down the stairs and into the kitchen, too excited to notice that her father was cleaning a huge fish. Her brother Jackson looked on, trying not to notice that his dinner had eyes. Dad, I know I have midterms on Monday, but the new Ashton Kutcher movie is previewing tonight. Miley gazed at him with her absolutely sweetest smile. How many pretties do I need to put before please for you to let me go? she asked. Miley Stewart ran down the stairs and into the kitchen, too excited to notice that her father was cleaning a huge fish. Her brother, Jackson, looked on, trying not to notice that his dinner had eyes. Dad, I know I have midterms on Monday, but the new Ashton Kutcher movie is previewing tonight. Miley gazed at him with her absolutely sweetest smile. How many pretties do I need to put before please for you to let me go? She asked. Miley Stewart ran down the stairs and into the kitchen, too excited to notice that her father was cleaning a huge fish. Her brother, Jackson, looked on, trying not to notice that his dinner had eyes. Dad, I know I have midterms on Monday, but the new Ashton Kutcher movie is previewing tonight. Miley gazed at him with her absolutely sweetest smile. How many pretties do I need to put before please for you to let me go? She asked. Now, one of the accessories I want to talk about now is, of course, one of the boom arms that you saw in that shot from Fifine. And this one in particular, I think is fantastic. Now, I do content creation on the go sometimes, and so I wanted my XLR cables to be really noticeable that they're mine. So I bought this bright green one, but sometimes it means it creeps into shot and looks horrible. I hate looking at it. And that's why this boom arm in particular is really great, because you can put your cable inside of it and hide it away. Whether you're using a lightweight or heavy duty mic, this boom arm is super sturdy and has no issues putting up with whatever you give it. It's got a really good clamp system that just attaches to my desk, so the installation is super easy. Bob's your uncle, Fanny is your aunt. Now back to the microphones themselves. I think these two are actually quite different and have their own little quirks and benefits. When you're up close, the Tank 1 is definitely the superior microphone in my opinion. If you're doing things like podcasting and you're gonna have the microphone this sort of distance away, it's really clear, doesn't pick up much background noise at all, and is fantastic in my opinion. The K688, although sounds good, you do get a little bit more background noise or reverb coming in from the room naturally when you're at this distance. However, where this comes into play is when you've got them further away. For me, the K688 really shone when it was that kind of distance apart. So that's why this one is going to be perfect for streaming, because when I'm streaming, I don't want my microphone to be this close and blocking my view. I want it to be kind of slightly out of shot, and this microphone is perfect for that. Now, neither of these microphones need phantom power, which is fantastic. And it means that this is actually the ultimate microphone for using out and about, because all you need is USB-C to go into your machine and then you're good to go with your streaming, or you could use it for podcasting. But I think audio-wise, this one is certainly an upgrade for getting up close and personal. Now, I definitely feel like there is almost a third product in here, because I would love to combine the features of these two. I really love, for a podcasting mic, the ability to change the EQ. I think that's great for being on the fly, but at the same time, I want to be able to mute myself with ease and even listen through headphones and control my own gain and volume. I think the headphone control and volume is only actually that useful if you're podcasting with this, and this microphone is better for podcasting, I think. So I would want to see those features on this mic almost. The only other grumble that I have about this mic is that this mute button doesn't work unless you're powering it via the USB-C. So although the microphone works when you just plug in the XLR, this feature doesn't, which is really annoying, because I want to be able to just plug in the XLR and have that work for when I'm streaming, to be able to mute and unmute. That would be fantastic for me personally, but I don't want to have to plug in an extra cable every single time. And another thing that's annoying when I'm streaming is, having to remember what buttons to press and to move over to this screen and hide that window and click that to make something very simple happen on screen. And that's why I'm super happy to also be using Fifine's D6. Now, this is essentially like a stream control deck, where you can assign different hotkeys to different buttons to enable you to do different things on the fly whilst in your streaming software, whilst in Logic, whilst in Premiere Pro. It's the perfect tool for pairing up with any kind of software that I'm using and can enhance my workflow to the point where I'm able to do things super, super quickly. But let's have a listen now to what these microphones sound like when recording a bass amp. For these demos, I'm going to be playing a loop of a bass line, recording into Logic, and then playing it back through my bass amp. Let's have a listen now! Now, one of the criticisms I have of that bass amp is that you've got to have it quite loud to be able to get over the hum that comes through it naturally. And I think that actually that made for a really interesting comparison of these microphones to hear what they did with that sound that was coming through. Overall, I feel like the Tank 1 was picking up more low end, whereas the K688 had a bit more clarity in there. I definitely felt like the hum in the background worked in the Tank 1's favor as well, as it kind of didn't pick that up quite as much as the K688. I think the features on this and the sound make it a more useful microphone to use when miking up a bass cap. So that's what I'm going to be using this microphone for moving forward. I'm absolutely going to be using this microphone for any streaming that I do moving forward, and also probably the microphone that I use on all of my videos. I've got this old Rode one at the moment that I always have to kind of EQ a little bit to make it sound how I want it to. But there we go. Let me know what you think in a comment down below. Make sure you click the links down in the description to check out all of the products that I've spoken about today. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.